Hey guys, we're going to tackle the next couple steps of Project 3. So if we want to look at this, I have it pulled up right here. Well, first off, I've modeled kind of a crude version of the house, but your 3D model will include all walls, stairs, windows, doors, the garden, the roof, and beds. Don't worry about any of the other furniture because we just want to denote kind of like the bedrooms for the space. Essentially, what we're going to do now is take our um, our model as it's modeled, and we're going to match the three different materials that Tatiana uses in hers, right? There's like this bricking, there's this wood, it's like a lattice wood kind of thing, and then we have these might be concrete slabs, kind of going off of the vibes of how this is. Maybe it's like plaster or stucco. But we have three materials basically that we're working with. And so what we're going to do is we're going to divide our, yeah, like here it's giving kind of like a stucco. So, and then you can see like the brick portions, there's the wood portions, um, but three materials, right? I gotta click all the way back to my axon. Here we go. And so we're going to take our model, seen here, divide it into the different materials. And then from there, we're going to cut it up, transform it, and start to play around with it. So that being said, this is kind of a rough model, and the way I modeled it kind of sucked. So apologies. I'm going to see if there's any dupes in here, cell dupe, elite dupes. Um, but really, let's just start making layers, right? So I have this layer two right here. Let's call this wood. Let's make this blue. Let's do another one. Let's do brick. Let's make brick red. And then we'll do another one. Let's do stucco. This green, right? Like a nice dark green. And so let's just start assigning our materials. And obviously, your model is going to be a little more detailed than this. And as you model, perhaps you can model it in a way that makes it a little less tedious. I threw this together very fast, and it was not done maybe in the most thoughtful way, but I just wanted to like quickly get us there, right? So it's like, okay, this poly surface is what I'm after. I want that to be on here too. Um, and then I think honestly, this whole base we're keeping is probably like a concrete layer almost. If I like consult the photo again, I don't know what we're calling the base because we only have three different textures. Perhaps I'm thinking maybe we let's for now denote the base as a fourth thing. We're just gonna call this base. And maybe the base doesn't receive a texture. Uh, and we'll clarify that as we go, but I will just I'm gonna make this show up as white. And this one's done, so we can kind of like lock this and hide it. Um, but yeah, let's just kind of get in here and see what we're working with. This should not be just a big box. That should not be a big box either. There we go. Uh, so looking at this, I'm actually gonna drag the photos because there's different configurations of this, so be careful, but I'm gonna drag these photos over into my other window so I can get a better look at this while I work. But yeah, we just kind of want to start dividing this up. So uh like this down here, this section technically is more of this like wood and it looks like that, but I quickly modeled it so it didn't turn out the same on my end. But I don't think we need these like extra surfaces. I hit cell surf, it grabs a lot of stuff. And if I hit delete, oh man, I wonder if these are all closed. Okay, I deleted a bunch of surfaces, so we'll see, but I think that might have been fine. Um, the way I'm looking at it, these look kind of all brick to me. This right here is actually kind of open air. That's a garden, but if I put this on like the brick layer, for example, and then this isn't actually like that. We've got like some interior poly surfaces I can delete real quick. Or did we want to, you know what? We might have needed, I might have grabbed the wrong things. Let me take this and let's subtract out this guy from it. Yeah, that's a little better. Delete that. Okay, now we're starting to cook a little bit. And there should definitely be a floor system here that runs all the way across. Yeah, forgive my model. It is definitely not the best. What the heck? That's like an infinitely thin plane. That is not what I was trying to do. Just wanted a box. There we go. And yeah, this looks to be one of the same situations where this kind of got screwed up. There we go. Much better. Much better. So we're gonna make these all brick. And I think as I change the layers, that I might start hiding them, but we're gonna call this like 3 feet. That's a safe height for a railing. But these, the garden area, looks to be, these are like those stucco walls. This down here looks like a brick facade. And this wall, for some reason, isn't tall enough. Let's bring that up. And then I kind of feel like the rest of this might just be, let's just say for, in my example, this is stucco, but you guys will be able to reference the photos, right? I saved off my photos into a different file because I was tinkering with this a little earlier. But you're going to want to follow those photos to get everything the way that it is supposed to be. But let's just say, for the sake of the argument, that this is roughly how this is supposed to look. Let's just, I'm not going to worry about my door height for now. It's just a rough model. Got these interior walls. I'm gonna delete that duplicate. I'm gonna delete this duplicate. And it's a duplicate. We're gonna make this stucco. Change object layer. That's a, this looks to be a duplicate wall as well, but interesting. So like I said, this is like a rough model and yours will be more detailed than this, but the idea is like once you start to get this thing into pieces, you'll have um this stuff broken up too. I almost feel like the stairs should be a part of maybe that like base layer. But I am just going to group them together for now, because you guys will have more interior elements to work with, but there will be walls right here. Actually, you know what? Just so I'm not getting too off the rails, let me just draw a couple walls here, just real quick. So both of these kind of need to get a little curve to them. Go. Let's join these faces together. And these faces together. And then this actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna split this face off. So if I isolate this, because it looks like this face right here in this is that different material, even though it's in that same kind of chunk. So just like watch out for that and reference the drawings that we've been using too. But if I just go ahead and if I make a surface, I could just got this surface, extrude it in that way, scale it 1D in this way. All right. Boom. Take this, split. Should be able to delete this, grab this cap, that's closed, grab this cap, that's closed. Go. Then this is its own separate piece. Change object layer. Okay, so functionally, what we start to have is this series of chunks in our model, right? And I'm going to turn our base back on, right? We've got kind of a little house model here. And what's going to happen now is we are going to take a couple of our rock textures that we made in project 2 and apply them to, I think it's best to do the brick, our brick layer, and then another one to our wood layer. I think that would be super interesting. And then I've actually renamed our stucco layer to blank because we're going to keep that third texture blank just so things can kind of breathe a little bit. So you applied textures in project 2, so you probably know how to do this, or you should know how to do it by now. But because all these are on the right layers now, what we can do is we can click on a layer and take our default material. And so I already actually kind of went through and did this, but if we go ahead and hit create physically based model from texture files, and we can go to wherever your rock textures are saved. So I have mine saved in here. Basically select your texture, surface mapping, okay, base color, assign texture. And so when you go into rendered view, because this only shows up in rendered view, all of a sudden we have our rock texture on just that area, right? And how it kind of aligns with our brick in this particular model. So yeah, it's really great how we start to put this stuff together. I actually feel like this surface belongs on our blank layer when I'm looking at this. Yeah, yeah, I think that's correct when I'm looking at our 3D model again. And then I can take our wood layer and basically do the same thing. I already did it, but so I can just select it since I already did it, but it's that same step. And so then we kind of have this like quite lovely blend of uh, stuff, right? So this would essentially be your your broken up model that you have into your different textures. And so now I'm going to end this video just for the sake of editing and um, start another one. And we can dive in where we start to divide this up into pieces. So we basically now are, we just did this, and we're now going to do this and this. So thank you guys for locking in with me. Stay tuned. We're going to keep going.